Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we created this show for you because we wanted everyone with an invisible condition to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that they have a voice, they have a community, and they are not alone. And you're not alone. And so, with that in mind, I have an amazing guest today. Her name is Eava Baka-Currents, and she is my good friend. And we've known each other for a little bit, but it's going to be amazing. So Eava, she had a life-changing diagnosis, traumatic brain injury, and then losing a child. And Eava refuses to give up and fights to inspire others in their own greatness. And Eava is the host of One Punch Superstars. I don't have the gloves, so I can't, but which is a reflection of her own story of perseverance and resilience when the lights went out over her life after a traumatic brain injury. Today, the pink and gold boxing gloves that hang above her desk remind her every single day that life is worth fighting for. No stranger to being told never again, or you can't ever. Eava understands the power of fighting back against adversity. So an athlete, ordained minister, and successful entrepreneur, she has spent over 25 years empowering others to overcome obstacles and reach their full potential. Man, my tongue is working today. Woo! It is her unwavering belief that we were created to do marvelous things. I love that. When we are in alignment with mind, body, soul, and spirit, her dedication to wellness, inspiration, and integrity have turned her into the internationally renowned speaker, author, coach, and producer, and former host of Superstars in Business. Eava, good Lord, that is a lot. I am so excited. Here we go. Eava, oh my gosh. Yay. Yeah, baby. Let's do it. Those are awesome. See, I need a pair of those or something. Seriously.
I'm gonna get you a pair of gloves.
Just for an intro, I should have had a pair of gloves to, do it.
I'll have to get you a pair. I'll get you.
So, oh my God, I'm so excited for you to be here. This is so cool. So that
was a mouthful. I gave you everything and figured you'd take maybe something out of it.
No, it's all good. No worries. No, you got a lot of stuff, man. You're amazing. I wanted everybody to know all about you. So, come on. I'm sure we'll get into it today too. So it's not a big deal. We'll hear more. But I have a crazy question to kick this off, and I figured this was the perfect question for you. What does success look like for you?
What does success look like for me? It's a state of being.
All right.
It's not about money. It's being content in your own skin and being in a position to go out and help others. Go change the world one story at a time. See, I got that in there. That's the tagline.
I love it. That's awesome. All right. So here we go. So you described a moment to me when when we were talking, I mean, we've known each other for a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. And I've heard
Like
some of your
forever,
stories.
never forever.
I know. So you described a moment when the lights went out, tell us what happened there. What was going on there?
Okay, so life's good. Life's great.
Yeah.
I have I'm running an international team. I have an international ministry. I have children. I have a wonderful, fantastic husband, and life is good. You just couldn't ask for it to be better. And I was going to a meeting, and I remembered that I forgot something on my desk downstairs, and I went, just me. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like rabbit. Um,
Squirrel. Yeah.
yeah, So I go running, dashing down the stairs, and I missed the first one, and I rolled,
Oh.
and I landed with my body on top of my neck on a cement floor.
Ooh, cement floor. Okay.
Floor.
That's not great. No.
So, I when I come to, all I can think of is I went, it's like everything's black, and then everything's like ice cold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just I can't feel anything. I don't know where I'm at. It's everything's it's dark, and then I kind of start to come to, and the next thing I know, now you gotta love my husband. I mean, he could. Most husbands would, are you okay, and call an ambulance, right?
Okay.
He runs for a bottle of oil, slaps it on top of me, and starts praying.
I love that.
Now, isn't that great?
Okay.
Say that. See, that's my cabana boy. I mean, and just starts praying. And it's interesting because I could feel the warmth coming back.
Yeah.
And once the warmth came back, then all the pain came with it.
Well, then there's that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the next thing I know, I'm in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in so much pain. And I hear somebody say she broke her neck.
Oh.
And then, all the hospital stuff's going on. And then I remember looking up, and there are, in our ministry, pastors from our ministry and some others. And I see them coming in, and they're praying over me. And, I get whirled into this machine and whirled into that machine. And by this time I've got really good drugs, so it doesn't hurt anymore. But everything's kind of a whirl. And then they're putting my clothes back on me, and the nurses looks me in the eye and says, this I remember. She said, "You shouldn't be going home. You broke your neck." She said,
Okay.
I don't understand, because from the time I went to the CAT scan to from one machine to the other machine, I went from a broken neck to it wasn't as severe as it was, I guess. I don't know.
They started figuring stuff out, and it
Yeah. So, and so the next couple of days were kind of a blur.
Uh-huh.
And
I would imagine.
yeah. And so what happened was, I'm an athlete. I have, run into hurdles. I'm I was a downhill racer, GS. I've run into more trees than I care to admit. I've had several concussions.
Yeah.
I decide, because I'm just one of those types of people. I refuse to be sick. Because
Totally.
when I was a child, my parents didn't know if I would live to be an adult. And so I spent a lot of time from the time I was 9 to the time I was 14 in hospital. So it's like, I just won't do it. So I'm going to go back to work. I'm working from home, and I'm working on something, and I'm a, I'm I'm taking all my notes, and I write everything down, and I get back the next day because I'm a systems engineer for Oracle.
Yeah.
And the next day I get on the phone with this guy, and I said something. He goes, no, 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 you said yesterday that. And I said, no, no, no way. No way. I look at my notes, and all of a sudden I realized that something was wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong big time.
Yeah.
And because I was having trouble talking, I was talking like this.
Yeah.
I was in excruciating pain. And after much testing, it was like, oh, TBI, not a brain injury. And what I have is football brain. Now, Pat, you're a person who went to school on a football scholarship, right?
Yeah.
No, I did not play tight end, but
Yeah.
it was life-changing because I had trouble speaking, which is really bad because I was a pastor. I'm a preacher. Yeah, that kind of does it. I was in pain that never went away.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I went from writing algorithms to not being able to do a simple tip.
Yeah.
And my life was turned upside down. I had always been that person who could, I had an eidetic memory. As long as I had a picture, as long as I wrote it down, I never forgot it. I never studied. Life just came real easy to me. And then it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that happens, and I kind of feel like the same. I kind of feel the same way in some ways with some stuff that happened in my past. It was like everything was cool.
That's why we get along.
Oh, I know, right? Everything was cool, and then all of a sudden, brain surgery, brain surgery, brain surgery, brain surgery. It's like So I don't know. I'm gonna throw this out there though, because I wanna see there's some people watching. I want to just throw this out there. Anyone out there experienced the TBI? I mean, I know I have. We know Eava has. It's so common. It's ridiculous. And so anything like that, or just wanted to throw that out there, see if anybody could relate, because I'm sure there's people that can relate. We'll hear from them, I'm sure, and then we can say hi. But anyway, what were some of the, like you were talking about right at the beginning there a little bit about what was happening, but what was some of the initial like really bad like hurdles that you had to face to like navigate through that recovery, that was before you? Now you finally figured out, okay, this is serious. Now what do we do to come out to live with it, recover from it?
Well, first of all, because it was am I the echo? My phone's off. First
I
of
don't hear
all,
an echo.
okay, good. So when it first happened, it was painful.
Yeah.
I basically, for 12 years, I lived with a headache that never went away. A good day was 6.
Yeah, that 1 to 10 scale is a joke, isn't it?
Yeah, when it hit 7, I couldn't cope.
Yeah.
I couldn't cope. I couldn't think. I couldn't concentrate. I got to the point that, because I lost my short-term memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would watch the news shows.
Okay.
For one reason, because I hate conflict. I'm a person that hates conflict.
Yeah.
So I'd watch the news shows because the little ticker on the bottom.
Tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I couldn't read it before it got to the end.
Yep.
So I would periodically watch the show because I wanted to see, it was important to me to be able to read the bottom of that. It was kind of like a marker for me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I went from, I couldn't, you know, I'm debugging, and math has always been real easy, except for the time I did get a D in algebra once. I only did that once because I was grounded for the entire 6 weeks till the next when your father is an engineer who writes with 100, literally 160 IQ, when you just don't get a D in math,
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't.
No.
So
Oh.
so I went from that not being able, I couldn't do a tip.
No.
I was a writer, very creative, left brain, right brain, literally left brain, right brain person. Um, Creativity's gone. I'm a
Ah.
musician, and I couldn't play the guitar or the piano.
Mm.
Um, I just couldn't do a lot of stuff. So we're gonna do some tests, and this is what they told me to do. So that's back when, before you know they discovered that it was a real problem with our soldiers coming back. So at that particular, this they told me to go get a job at Goodwill.
Oh no. Jeez.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was like, okay, this isn't an option.
Why don't you just punch me in the face?
Yeah,
It's like,
it was like, it was devastating.
yeah, yeah, that's terrible. Why you said a doctor told you that?
Yeah, they said basically I had lost the ability. I had uh, so many issues going on with it.
Yeah.
It was It's what they told me to do, and it's like, okay, that's
Wow.
not an option. Not
That's
gonna do.
great. No, that's nuts.
So I started. I decided, okay, if I can't write, I need to learn to write all over again.
Mhm.
So I started writing a book.
Nice.
I mean, if you're going to do it, right? And
Yeah.
when
Dive right in.
when I go to my editor and I give her, my first draft, she goes, when they go, "Oh, bless your pea picking heart."
I was just thinking, bless your heart. That's what she said. And you know what that means.
That
Yeah.
means, okay, she says, "You have 3 books here. Which one do you want to write?" Because my mind was all over the place. I couldn't put things in order. So, she worked with me, and I started writing a book so I would learn to write again. I went out, and how when I was a kid, I used to love like the math books. Like you'd get a book and first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I went back to first grade math, and I started going through the books, teaching myself math again.
Jeez.
And I just decided, okay, if I can't do this, I learned how to do it once before.
Hmm.
I'm going to do it again. And this is the issue. And if you're out there and you have a brain injury, or you have something that you have lost that deals with quantitative, or deals with issues with the brain, it's called neuroplasticity. Plasticity. Now, I didn't know that neuroplasticity. I didn't know that when I started doing this. I just prayed a lot, and it was like, okay, relearn it.
Yeah.
So, but now I know that our brain will actually recreate, reconnect. Your brain has like circuits in it.
Hmm.
So you can retrain your brain. So I retrained my brain because they weren't going to do it for me at Goodwill.
Yeah.
Goodwill is great, but it wasn't an option for me. I was like, I won't quit. I
No.
refuse to quit.
No.
So if you have an issue, I don't think it's a fairly new science, but you can retrain, remap, rework your brain, and that's what I did. But the pain
100%.
never went away.
Nice.
And
I love
so,
it.
and I'm going to be real honest with you.
Yeah.
So where Keith takes me up to Niagara Falls.
Okay.
Now you have to realize I was born in the West, in
Yeah.
Colorado, which is a high desert.
Yeah.
We don't do water.
Nah.
Our lakes are like ponds to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So we go to the Canadian side, and I'm looking at all this water, and it just blew me away. It's like, when is it going to stop? Where did all this water come from? There should not be that much water in the world.
Where is it coming from? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all I can think of is like, when is it going to stop? Because in Colorado, it dries up and goes away.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm asking God. I said, why does it have to be so hard? At this point, I'm probably 12 years in.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm relearning to do stuff. I'm preaching again. I'm doing stuff, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Which I had to learn to work because I'd never worked before. I just did. And I really felt the Lord said to me, your brain had become your idol.
Mm. Yeah. Okay.
And so it was like, oh, wow.
Yikes.
For me, I'm doing what most people probably have to do. There are people that this is their everyday life. We all are born with different gifts. And if that's not your gift, then you have to work at it. It's kind of like, me learning to be a boxer.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at, but the thing is don't touch the face. So, I could never really do that. Touch the face. Don't hit the head.
No.
We don't I had to quit skiing.
Yeah.
I had to quit all those things. Anything that would, I've had 5 serious concussions. So that's like the football players. You get or boxer, you get hit so many times. And, I still realize that I still have Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
What I mean by that is you're going along, and then all of a sudden there's a hole there.
Yep.
And I still have Swiss cheese, but I've learned to navigate around it. I've realized since I started my TV show, One Punch Superstars, and I'm doing the techno like you're doing, Jeff. Okay, so they call it the Eava in our team when you do a whole show and you forget to hit go live. It's like,
I know.
Gosh, you named it after me.
I mean, that'll live forever. You're famous now.
It is the Eava. You didn't hit go live.
You're famous. All right, Eava. I'm gonna do something here because we could probably talk for 3 hours and not take a breath. We could just keep going. But we're gonna take a breath for a second. And I'm going to go to a commercial, and one of them is going to have you in it. So it's going to be fun. So we're going to go to a commercial real quick, and then we will be back, and we're going to talk about everything hit the fan in the first segment. Second segment, when we come back, we're going to talk about how you turned it around. All right? Bring it on, right? Here we go. All right. We will see you in just a minute.
Eava Black Occurrence here, and I am the host of One Punch Superstars, where we meet real people who chose to fight for their hopes and their dreams and become the champions of their destiny. You can find us on Achieve TV every Tuesday and Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time, right here on E360 TV.
Here we go. See, now that was some cool stuff right there. You got some good commercial stuff going on there. I'm telling you, that's good stuff. I still need to do a couple things like that. I keep stalling because I'm like,
well, I know somebody who could help you.
I know I need to do that because I tell you what, man, learning the platform and learning all the ins and outs and learning all the stuff, and it will, like, once you get it learned, I'm sure you can relate. Once it's learned, then it's like, it's okay. It's almost automatic, right? But then you throw something new in and it's like, nope, nope, no room for that right now. Yeah. But I wanted to throw this out there. We didn't get a chance to approach this in the first segment, but it's huge and it's a huge part of your life. And I wanted to throw it out there because people should know this about your story. With all the so brain injury and thinking you broke your neck and all that crazy stuff, and then all the things
I found out I did.
Well, yeah, okay.
But my head hurt so bad, I didn't care that my back and my neck hurt.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually and I can't even imagine this. And there's people out there that are probably going to gasp when I say this, but you actually lost a child.
Yeah.
As well. Which is
I lost
two. Unbelievable. I can't even fathom. That is unimaginable. Can you share a little bit about that? I don't know. I don't even know where to start. Like, I can't even.
It's devastating.
Yeah.
The first one was, I was actually, I was 6 months pregnant, and the baby died in the womb. Mm-hmm. And it was devastating. And you have to believe that there's something more. And I personally, I'm a pastor, I'm a believer. That may be one of the reasons. But all my life, my parents were teenagers when I was born. Mm-hmm. And I always knew, there were times in my life where I always knew that there was this voice. There was this hand. I knew I wasn't alone. And you have to decide, am I going to live my life as if this is all there is? Or am I going to take a broader view and realize that the time we have on this earth is only if you blink, that's only a twinkling of the eye. Mm-hmm. For all eternity. Yeah. So if God was, is, and will always be, and we are made in his image, then we were, are, and will always be. I mean, eternity is like forever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that sounds like, I'm not going to make a political comment there, but that sounds like a comment somebody would make. Eternity is forever. Yes, it's a long time.
Yeah.
As far as the East is from the West. So it's at that point you decide what you truly believe.
Yeah.
And I knew that I knew that I knew that I would see this child again.
Yeah. 100%.
So I took solid. Does it mean I didn't hurt? Oh yeah. Does it mean I didn't weep and cry and moan and groan and, yes, but,
Yeah.
people think that you can't grieve. Grieving is a natural process. Um, again, I'm a believer. And Jesus on the Mount of Gethsemane grieved to the point that he had tears of blood.
Yeah.
So I tell people, grieve until you're done,
Yeah.
until you have blood coming out of your eyes. Um, and then grieve some more. Now, for me, I'm kind of that person that type A. It's like, okay, I refuse to quit. I refuse to give up. I had I already had one child. I couldn't give up on that child. If I quit, then what was I going to? I had another child. I had to be there for. I had to show
Yeah.
up for that child. And so at that time. But this is the interesting thing. 35 years later, probably 30 years later, I'm in Nigeria. I just finished what you know what people would say like a crusade or what. I just gone from the north to the south. I'd been in Nigeria for a month.
Okay.
We're going into this where we're staying that night, and bam, it hit me. I
Okay.
I lost a child,
Yeah.
and it took me 30 years to grieve, to really look at it and deal with the pain. So if you don't, this is all I can say to you. If you don't deal with the pain now, you will deal with it later.
Yeah.
But it surprised me. It took me almost 30 years before it was safe to deal with the pain.
I mean,
And
everybody's different,
yeah,
everybody's different. There's been things that I've been a real tough nut to crack in that regard too. It's like sometimes you hold on too much and then
dude.
you don't realize it till later. But when it hits, it really hits. And then you can, yeah.
And then we lost my stepdaughter. She was my daughter for 30 years.
Mm,
That seems to be a number. Um, she passed away almost 2 years now. Her dad found her at the bottom of the stairs at her house.
mm,
And you have to know that I cannot imagine life. You're gonna see. You made me cry. You didn't, Emma. You made me cry. Um, um, can't imagine suffering the loss of a child and not believing that, not having the faith to know that you will see them again.
yeah,
I can't imagine that pain.
right.
Yes, I miss my children, and yes, I grieve. And there are some days when I'm just weepy. I
Yeah.
have you have to have somebody you can talk to. I
Mhm.
don't have a lot of those people, but I do have one person. She's gone through many of the same things, and I'll just text her and say, "I'm weepy. Today's a weepy day."
Yeah.
And it's okay to grieve. It's not okay to stay there.
Right.
So sometimes you just have to pull up your britches. And it's kind of funny. My father is in the final stages of cancer.
Mm,
And I have when I do my slideshow, I have a slide that says "Move or Die," Wayne Pluchek. And my dad, he's got tumors on his back and everything. You can tell it's very painful for him to walk.
mhm.
But all of a sudden, I'll get this call, and um, my mom will say, "Hey, we're coming down," because they live in Denver and I'm in Colorado Springs. And my dad said, "You either move or you die."
Yep.
And you keep going as long as you can keep going. And so I think I got that from my parents. Really inspired me to never give up, never quit, just
Totally.
move. And you don't even have to do anything. Sometimes you just to move. So on weepy days, you just need to move.
Do something. Yeah.
Something, anything.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's funny. I had we have a mutual. My mentor. It was funny. He said to me the other day, we have a mutual mentor, and he said, "Pick up the phone. What do you think we're here for?" It's like,
nice.
oh,
Yeah. Hello.
hello. I'm that person. It's like, call me, ask for help, and it's like, oh, duh.
Yeah, I know. No, I tell people that all the time. They're like, I said, seriously, call me. I will practically help you. I will go to the store for you. I will bring you places. I will do stuff. And then when I'm, when I feel like I've got my face sewn to the carpet with something going on with my medical stuff, then I don't do it.
I know. It's like oh, I can do it myself. Thank you very much.
Well, it's not even that. It's more like I don't want to. It's so dumb because it's like I don't want to bother people, and so it's. But they're not. People want to help. It's not a bother. They want to help you. So
Well,
bother them.
This is kind of what I learned. One of my trademark teaching is victim or victor.
Yeah.
You have a choice. You can be a victim or you can be a victor.
Totally.
And people have a hard time getting out of that victim thing. You can choose to do that. But it was always like, okay, I'm going to go help somebody. See, you can, helping is healing.
Yes.
And so you can go choose to help somebody, but it's always like, oh well, I don't need it. I can do that. I'm fine. I'm fine. And then somebody looked at me once and said, "Why are you stealing my blessing?" It's like, I want to bless you, and you're trying to steal it from me. And I went like,
right? People want to do that. Well, and part of it is, I mean, if you listen real careful, what you just said right there, you said, "I'm fine." That doing that is very self-centered and very, very, and I'm talking about me too. I mean,
we all get that. It's okay to get in that space. It's okay to be an I-centered so that you can heal.
Sometimes you have to be there, but but
self-care is good care.
Yes.
But don't get stuck there.
Don't get stuck there. No, it's bad. Don't get stuck there. All right. So we've got a lot, man. You've got a lot. There's a lot there.
I'm a lot older than you.
You got, I don't know about that. Not a lot. I mean, some, but I tell you what, though, there is always a sunrise in the morning, right? So that's what we're going to talk about next. After this last break, we're going to talk about the empowerment and the hope and everything that comes when you can shift there, when you can get to that point. We're going to talk about that next. So give us a second. We'll be right back, guys. Thank you, Eava, so much for sharing and being vulnerable. And I'm sorry I made you cry, but it's
I always say it's not a good show unless they cry.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. So, all right, everybody, we'll see you on the other side of the break. We'll be right there. we go. We are gonna. I know.
I'm ready. I got a boxing gloves. I'm ready. Let's go.
Bring it on. So you. And we didn't even get to talk about the boxing gloves. The boxing gloves are awesome, and you've got some in the background. You got some on. You got boxing gloves everywhere. And
Well,
so,
some days you just, those weepy days.
yeah, just punch them in the face.
Yeah, it's like one day it was like I stood up and said, "Okay, no more, devil."
Nope.
And so there are days. One of the ways I get out of my weepies is I pick up my boxing gloves and I go after whatever it is that's standing in my way. It says that you speak the word and a word can move a mountain. So it's like, if a word can move a mountain,
bring it on, right?
Bring it on.
Totally. So I'm gonna pop a comment up here. She's been talking the whole show. She's been commenting, but I love this one. So it's good stuff.
That is good stuff, Tammy.
Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, she's awesome.
She's somebody you have to have on. Her story will blow you away.
You know what? Some of the comments that I'm seeing from her, like I'm telling you, yeah, we should. Yeah,
she's had brain surgery.
Oh wow.
She had brain. Okay, this girl has brain surgery, and we're in we have another business together. So you and I are in Achieve Systems together, but she and I have another business together in supplements. The next day, she's giving a party, and she just had brain surgery. I mean, I guess it's a family trait. What can I say?
Hey, my last brain surgery in October of 2021 was a 24-hour turnaround. I went in. I literally drove to Catherine drove me to the hospital.
Come on, Catherine.
Yeah, that's right. Well, more importantly, she picked me up from the hospital. I didn't drive home, but she dropped me off at the hospital. And then I had the surgery, and then I stayed overnight, and that was it. Like, I think the surgery was at like 3:00, and then by 3:00 the next day, we were driving home. 24-hour turnaround, baby. They kicked me out. They must have needed the bed or something. I don't know. I've never had that fast of a turnaround from brain surgery in my life. So that was
getting stronger.
Oh, I get. Well, I hope that's true. That would be a great. I love that reason. That's fantastic.
No hope. Say, repeat after me. I am getting stronger.
Getting stronger.
Because I was created.
For
greatness.
For greatness. That's right. You're awesome. That's why we love you. So we're going to talk about two things before we wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Okay. So it always goes too fast, right? So we could go 2 hours and just blow through it. So we only have about 10 minutes left, but I want people to know about what you have on E360 TV. You've got it. In fact, it's going to be on here. It's just in a little bit, right? You've got a show today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell us about what you're doing.
Okay. So E360 TV, I have a show called One Punch Superstars. And I have a training back here, if you can see, One Punch Entrepreneur. So if you are basically, I help people develop the endurance, the training, the mindset to overcome any obstacle. Because what happens is we tend to put, this is business and this is personal. And we try and separate, and you can't do that.
Mm-mm.
We are integrated people, body, soul, and spirit. So what I do, what One Punch Entrepreneurs does is it teaches people to be resilient no matter what happens. Because I have news for you, life will happen. It's not if, it's when. So One Punch Superstars is the stories of people who have fought for their hopes and their dreams.
Yep.
I want to know. So you're a CEO of a major corporation. I guarantee you had to fight through some things. And I don't care that you sell widgets. I mean, I do like that you sell widgets, and we'll put your widgets on the show, because if I didn't believe in your widgets, you wouldn't be on the show to begin with. But
Right.
I want to know the story. People buy from people that they know, love, and
And
trust.
trust. Yep.
So I want to know, once somebody knows your story, it's like, oh,
Yep.
like for example, um, I'm in Achieve Systems because I know uh, Robert Raymond's story.
Mm-hmm.
Once I knew his story, it was like, oh, I can trust you.
Yeah.
Jeff, you and I have been friends. Once I heard your story, it's like, okay, we're best friends. Once you have that story,
Yeah. Totally.
you know, okay, you've walked this path,
Mm-hmm.
and people seem to think, oh, you're so lucky. Look at where you are. You're so successful. Well, I can tell you, behind every success,
It's a whole big old mess.
there's a big old, that's right. You know,
Uh,
I can remember I had a weekend on my face. I'm crying. I'm slobbering all over the place. I'm just,
yeah.
I can't get off the floor. I'm up in a retreat center. And I did that for 3 days. And then all of a sudden, it was like, I heard the Lord say, get up.
Yeah.
And so that's part of, after we go through all of the there are different things that can help you. One is daily affirmations. Now, we're not talking woo woo, you're going to change the world, but you can change the world with affirmations. Who are you? You were created for greatness.
Yeah.
Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Why not? And then we develop affirmations that are truths that you choose not to believe. You can choose the enemy of your soul, or you can choose the God who created you and believe you were created to be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and take dominion. That means you were created to be a success.
Yeah.
So anything less is a lie.
Right.
So, first of all, you have to establish that. What's the truth? The truth is, I was created for greatness. What is that greatness? And then I deal with things called, I have a 40-day detox.
Mm-hmm.
Just like your body has to detox, so does your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So, go back to, what is the first thing you remember your parents saying over you? What is the
Yeah.
first thing you remember your parents saying negatively over you?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
write that down. Now, what's the truth?
Yeah.
And so we go through 40 days of detoxing all those lies in your life.
Nice.
Now, a 40-day detox is something you start in your journal, but it's something that if you continue it on, you catch the lie before it takes root
Yeah.
and ruins your soul.
Totally.
And then in the One Punch entrepreneurs, then we go through, I call it boot camp.
Yeah.
If you have to have consistency, you have to know that you know that you know that you were created for greatness, so that when the lie comes in, you can go back to that detox the lie, and
Yep.
keep going on. And so I have different, there are different, it's like when I said that day, is okay, get up, wipe your face off, we're done.
Yeah.
Yes, you can cry, you can grieve. Now get up and let's go do, move or die.
Right.
One,
Totally.
move or die.
In that same vein, I have a question.
Okay.
Day to day, after all of that, with all the stuff that all the stuff you've been through, all the stuff you lived through and survived and chosen to go through and overcome, how do you ever find hope day to day?
And a belief that God created me for something greater, and that this is I'm only passing through. And I believe that we were created to leave the world a better place. And that's my purpose in life, is to help other people get to that point where we were given this earth to nurture and to take care of. It's a garden, and we need to garden. So I take a look at my life like I'm gardening.
Yeah.
Where do I get my hope? My hope comes from the Lord.
Amen.
And because
Love it.
he wouldn't create me unless he loved me. He wouldn't create you unless he loved you. God, I don't care who you are, where you are, what you've done, or how mad you are at God, or how much you think you hate him. He still loves you. And when you realize that you're loved with an unconditional love, and that this is just the beginning, not the end, then you just have to. Sometimes I have to just move, go through the detox, get up, thank the Lord for the day, open the drapes, bring in the sun, do a little stretching, because that's a whole nother training. Your body is hooked to, when you get muscles moving, you get endorphins moving, you get the brain moving.
Yeah.
And that was part of my recovery is you have to have physical activity to have mental activity.
Totally.
You know that very well.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So how can people, I mean, we've got all your information, on the on the info for the show, like on E360 and on Facebook and on YouTube where it's being broadcast here. But just to throw it out there so it's verbal and people that are watching can hear it, how do they find you? So you can help them.
Eava, Eava, never ever forget it. EavaCurrentsGlobal.com.
Nice. Never ever forget it.
Ever and ever be your best friend.
I love that.
EavaCurrentsGlobal.com.
EavaCurrentsGlobal.com. I've been there. It's a great site. It's a really good looking site. I love it. So
thank you.
Yeah, you did a good job. Well done.
Creativity coming back.
Right? Exactly. That's amazing. Well, Eava, I wanted to get that in because we are out of time. So
it's 54 and 15 seconds.
I know. So I know, and you know as well as I do that we are out of time. So unfortunately, but there's specials coming up throughout the year and stuff. So maybe we'll see you again. You never know.
Oh, that would be good.
Right. So, but thank you, Eava. Thank you. That this has been amazing. I've been so blessed by having you on, and don't go too far but I'll talk to you in a couple minutes, but okay. Thank you. All right, everybody. She's amazing. I mean, come on, let's be real. She's incredible. I can't wait we never have enough time. It always gets cut off short. I have like 2 pages of questions I never got to that I wanted to ask, but that's all right. We got plenty of time. So I just wanted to get on here and just say how excited I am for the next show, Friday, August 11th. Miguel Batista is going to be on, and at age 23, he found himself laying in a hospital bed alone, getting life-altering news that just completely changed his life. We're going to learn from him while it was overwhelming, but there's still hope. He's got an amazing story. You're going to love it. It's Friday, August 11th for our next show. Until then, have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. As soon as I hit the right button. Have an amazing day. Thank you, guys.